Would love the espresso. Just saying.
You're live.
I really would have loved an espresso. Hi everybody, welcome to Chocolate Cat Chat. I'm in my baby's room because he's not here, eating my big baby, who's almost 9's, cookies and chocolate milk and celebrating the fact that they're with their grandparents and I can do that. And if you know my story or if you don't, it's kind of a miracle I have a new baby to sit in his nursery because I had a stroke and wasn't really supposed to live, much less go on to have children, and I have a new baby. So, pretty exciting to be me right now. On Medicare, 11 surgeries later, crazy disabled body, don't even drive. It's a lot. But I had a baby last year and I'm sitting in this nursery right now, which is really cool. Anyway, let's jump in. I'd like to share with you kind of one thought I'm having and unpack it a little bit. So here it is. Everyone in the world seems to ask or talk about or wonder, like, what do we do about this person in our lives who's making terrible choices or really hurting people or really just messing up their life and thus my life? Whether it's a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a neighbor, a cousin, it doesn't matter. It's all somebody in our lives who we love, usually, who is kind of self-destructing or causing pain to other people. How do we deal with that? What do we do about it? Well, first of all, I think there's a lot of wisdom in shutting our big mouths and not exploding everything we're thinking on them, because that's heinous and serves no purpose. However, I think we are released into the reality that we are not called to be a person's change agent. We are actually called to be their cheerleader. So we are encouraging them when we see the truth of who they are coming out. Because I believe that the truest thing about a person is that good stuff. That God has instilled in them, the joy deep inside them that may be something that you rarely see. But if we start cheerleading that joy, maybe it'll come out a bit more. That's an example for someone who's in a really heinous mood all the time. But whatever it is, that person who gossips really heinously, when they're really shutting their mouth when they could talk about a million people, maybe that's something you really celebrate in them, that you see they really cleaned up their mouth or fill in the blank, whatever it is. There's 10,000 examples. But what if we all become people who cheerlead for the beautiful things that God is doing in people rather than like judging them, hurting them, or just really feeling the burden to be the change agent ourselves. It's all up to us. That can be very stressful. I think there's something so beautiful about I get to be a part of what God is doing by celebrating the better choice you're making and praying like crazy you'll continue to make that choice and go that way and more become who you really are, because that's so beautiful. We are always called, Romans 12:2, that we are called to not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind so that we can see what God's perfect will is. Well, I believe that we need to encourage other people to let God transform them from the inside out. And we get to be a part of that work by cheerleading for each other and really celebrating that. I wanted to do just a brief Q&A. If anybody has a question, or Jay, if you have a question, jump in.
Just reflecting on how hard it is to change, but that cheerleading is a gift that we get to give people we love. And
absolutely.
Releasing that burden that we have to be the one to change them, but then seeing who they already are and calling out those good things, calling out not just lies or, platitudes, but just truly seeing them as God sees them.
And for those of you who do not share my faith, I want to say to you directly that God is in this broken, messed up world where terrible, horrible things happen, and He longs for you to release your life into His care and let Him transform you from the inside out. This is this beautiful process of coming into the truth of who Jesus Christ is, and it's this incredible blessing to be in Him and to want to do life within His grip. It's beautiful. Last thing, I want to tell you that here at Hope Heals, we're having a giveaway. For the next 4 days, we're giving away swag to celebrate the end of summer, back to school, however you want to look at it. We are celebrating that feat. It's great to celebrate rather than longing for something that was. Celebrate that it happened at all. And, we are here at Hope Heals by doing a giveaway on Facebook. You can find it on our Hope Heals Facebook page for the next 4 days. So tune in and celebrate with us.
Facebook.com/Hope Heals.
Yeah, Facebook.com/Hope Heals.
Also, somebody is asking a question after the fact of just, what about a friend who has a life-threatening illness or addiction? They mentioned an eating disorder. I mean, that's very hard to not want to help be a part of that change.
Absolutely. And I think first and foremost, pray absolutely about what is really the wisest thing to do in dire situations. But God uses us for sure. And while we are not the change agent, only God can change someone from the inside out, from the grip of addiction or whatnot. We are called to affirm the good things that are happening in that person's life. When they are choosing not to take a drink, when they are choosing to have a healthy relationship with food. That is something to truly celebrate, that God is at work. It's very hard and very complicated for sure. And I am definitely into seeking the people who are trained in all of these areas to do their good work. I don't think they're God. I don't think doctors are God, psychiatrists are God, anybody. I think there's one God. But I do think the trained professionals know something. So let's go to them and use them too. And God is at work in them if we have eyes to see that. And go for that healing too.
Certainly the communal connection versus the
isolation,
addiction, isolation.
So much of addiction research right now talks about how isolated people are. The people come out of rehab and they struggle with tremendous isolation, and that's kind of never truly rehabilitated because they're in this vicious cycle of being alone, and then they're alone because they were off in rehab and now they're really alone and blah, blah, blah. So really coming alongside people and loving them well, and again, celebrating them and encouraging them to become who they really are, I think is the key. I don't know though. I'm just ranting. I have no idea. We could feel our way to the top together, but hey, at least we're trying, you know?
I think so.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you all.